What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ben, and I'm back with another video. And this is my Detroit Trenches edition, man. I'm on the east side of Detroit. This is my original side of town. I grew up on essentially, which is called the Red Zone. I was supposed to go to Osborne, but I ended up going to Cooley, man. So I'm just gonna take y'all through my old hood, and I think things are a lot calmer now, you know, because the reputation that this side of town definitely had from back in the day, it kind of definitely spoke for itself, man, in the news and the media. But yeah, I just want to take y'all on a tour of my old hood, and yeah, this is definitely, as you can see, this is Osborne. This is the school I was supposed to end up going to, but I left like sometime, like around about the 6th grade, maybe about 6th or 7th grade, and ended up going on the west side of Detroit. And then I actually finished out the rest of my years at Guest Middle School, and then I eventually went to Cooley. So I'm just gonna give y'all like a little tour of like my old neighborhood. So check me out, y'all. So definitely growing up on the east side of Detroit was a lot different, man, way back in the day. So on this side of town, you had a melting pot. You had a lot of people, man. You had white people, black people, you had Asian people. And so, man, I remember as a kid, directly across from Osborne was a spot called D's Pizza. I'm not sure, I think this was D's Pizza right here. But man, when I tell you, like, D's Pizza actually had like the original dollar slices or whatever, and they had like the crazy, nah, this can't be it. No, hold on, I could be wrong. Yeah, that's D's Pizza, because everything has changed dramatically, man, from like years ago. And like D's Pizza, they was pretty much like, they had the original dollar slices, and them bad boys was thick. And they actually had like French fries. They had chili fries. They was like in the Chinese like paper containers with the metal handle on them bad boys. And they had these chili fries that actually had like jalapenos and cheese, man. It was crazy, man. And like I stayed down the way on Strasburg, and we used to walk up here. Like, man, I was young as hell, like walking up to this bad boy. Wasn't as dangerous and as treacherous as it was back in the day, but still, you still had that element, you know, out there, you know, from years ago. But but yeah, shout out to D's Pizza. If y'all remember D's Pizza, man, if y'all grew up on the east side in the 80s, like early 80s, late 90s, and y'all went to Osborne, man, drop a comment below, because man, if you remember D's Pizza, man, shout out to D's Pizza, man. I ain't gonna lie, man, I think those like the best chili fries in the world. So I'm about to keep it moving. I'm gonna probably hit my old block, Strasburg, and yeah, you gonna see how your man was living. Before it was called the Red Zone, it was my home, man. And you know, over here on the east side of Detroit, man, it used to be like a melting pot. And man, back behind me, right over here, it was so this was like as you can see, it was the church parking lot over here. And then on the back half over here, like every so often, man, like I want to say like around about maybe like the summertime, they used to have like a fair, man. They had like a carnival up here, and man, they had all the rides. They had the little spinny thing where it was no strap in. You kind of just, I forgot what they call that damn thing, but they had like the pirate ship, everything over here. And yeah, man, like over here on Strasburg and 7 Mile is where, you know, I stayed. And it's crazy, man, all the times when I grew up over here, you know, just to and fro, up and down 7 Mile. I'm talking about, this is like around about the time when DJ Quick, Tonight, and Eshawn had his buzz too, and that's pretty much all you heard going up and down 7 Mile. Over here, you just heard like DJ Quick, Tonight, MC Breed, or Eshawn, Sunshine. But you know, yeah, man, like this is my old hood, and it's kind of happy to be over here, man. Unreal. And as you can see, it's people trying to catch the bus, man, and that's just the everyday struggle. But yeah, man, it was something else growing up over here, man. It was pretty cool. It was pretty laid back. You had a lot of different nationalities over here, especially over here on the east side of Detroit. You know, you had like white people, you had black people, you had Chinese people, like people from Laos. And I talked to some of my friends, because you know, at my job it's like multicultural, and I talked to some of my guys that grew up, that had family that grew up in this area. Man, they said it was like a lot of good times and there's a lot of bad times. And I'm gonna show you one of my homeboys, Chris, man. He actually stayed like not too far across the way, man. It was so, man, I just think about it. It's my homeboy Chong. And my homeboy Chong, his mom actually owned like a little shop up the way, and that was like my dog. And you can't get a good glimpse at the house, but man, his mom owned a little spot up the way. And like, obviously, man, like, it was still kind of rough over here. It's still definitely that dangerous element, you know, just, you know, people just not tapping into like regular resources, like getting like a 9 to 5 or whatever. They was pretty much like, man, they robbed his mom. I was so mad. I was kind of disappointed. But man, so I came over to my homeboy Chong's house, you know what I'm saying? Cause we was like big, like we used to draw a lot. We used to draw like a lot of comic books and stuff like that. And pretty much his mom said something like in Laos or Chinese. It's like, you know, he said he said something. She said something in Chinese, and then she came over there and told me like, yo, like, you gotta go, because, you know, a black man had robbed my mom. He had pushed her down and all that. And it was kind of sad, because for the simple fact that me and him was like really so close, and we still was close at school, but just anything like after school, man, I just couldn't come over there and chop it up with him, because, man, a black dude had pushed his mom down and robbed her, man. And that was sad. That was unfortunate too. And man, I felt so bad. And it's like they kind of written like our whole race off, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if one of y'all did it, all of y'all gonna do it. So, but that's just what it was, man. And just looking back over here, man, I had some really good times. And just looking at the neighborhood, man, I mean, it definitely went down substantially from like the early 90s. Every house was really nice. Like, all the lawns was really kept up really good. You know, you had a mixture of people. You had a lot of white people that still stayed over here, but, you know, as they were aging, you know what I'm saying, a lot of their family members, they didn't kind of take over those properties, you know what I'm saying? And then I want to say probably like with a lot of people like renting and pretty much, you know, people, you know, it just goes down over time, man. And if you know about economics, and if you know about rental properties and just low income period, man, it just gradually just get bad. And it's just unfortunate, man. It's crazy. But, you know, this is my old hood on 7 Mile in Strasburg, man. This is my old hood, man. I used to love it over here. You know, so many different memories, so many different feelings just coming over here, man. And yeah, But yeah, but this spot back here, they definitely used to have like the carnival, man. It was unreal. It was just man, it was cool because for the simple fact that everything was down the way, you know, right here on across Lappin. You know what I'm saying? We just walk up here, and then like whenever the carnival was popping off, man, we just had a ball, man. So, you know, those times are long gone. It's just what it is. And then I'm just thinking back on some other stuff too, man. And you know, memories just kind of just come racing back because I remember years ago, man, it was so sad. It was like a really rainy day, and it was like a brother. I want to say it was like a brother and a sister who had got killed up here. They got struck, man. I think maybe like a car had jumped the curve, and they had pretty much they killed 2 kids up here, man. And this was like roughly around about the time before I was about to move, and it was just crazy, man. I'm just thinking back on that, man. Just all that stuff, man. And I remember like walking up here from Pulaski. So Pulaski is right on the other side down the way. And I remember we used to have field trips to this. we used to have like field trips up to this little Dairy Queen up here, man. And it's over here on Hamburg. And I'm gonna try to get close, you know, cause I got my windows rolled down over there. But I want to try to get close to that Dairy Queen, so you can kind of see, man. It was like a little Dairy Queen down the way. They got like a whole bunch of writing. Matter of fact, I'll try to get down there a little bit closer, man, so y'all can get an idea. Yeah, man, I remember right here across the way, that used to be like a TV shop. And I remember one of my classmates, her name was Robin. I think their family had actually bought that place and turned it into like a little candy shop. And yeah, man, it was crazy. But yeah, I'm about to walk over here a little bit so y'all can get an idea of like what I'm talking about for context. And yeah, so walk over here. Yeah, man, so much has changed over here. It's insane. It is insane. And just to kind of put everything into context, like right over here, man, this was like a right over here across the way behind me, that used to be a Dairy Queen. And that Dairy Queen, man, it was crazy because we walking all the way up from Pulaski, and that's where I'm about to go to next. We used to walk all the way up here from Pulaski, and that was like our field trip, man. It was insane. So, and then, like right over here, like this right here used to be this. I'm gonna show you to kind of put it in context. Like it's owned by the Mafal brothers, but right here, this joint right here used to be like this spot right here. Dang, let me try to get over here. Let me get it over here a little bit. My bad, y'all. Yeah, I'm sorry. So, right over here, to kind of put it in context, this spot right here used to be like an Asian funeral home, man. And I ain't gonna lie, this boy used to be on slam. I'm talking about, when I tell you, it was like a lot of like the Asian community was really heavy over here, and like a lot of people from like once again, that's from Laos. And man, when I tell you this bad boy used to be on slam, I'm talking about it was damn near like a funeral every week. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Asian people, you know, just paying their respects to their loved ones that passed away. And but it was just eerie because I know every week, just about every week, man, it was somebody. It was something, some type of gathering or something going on up here, man. So we about to head on over to Pulaski, so I'll see you in a minute. So yeah, man, I'm just skating down the strip on Strasburg. That crib with the white and red awning. That used to be my grandma's house. Yeah, man, there's a lot of memories at that house growing up. Down the way, man, it was crazy, man, because I had a guy right here with this sign right here. It was a white couple, man. It was I forgot the guy name, man, but that was the first time I actually experienced like racism, man. It's unreal, bro. And so we skating down the way, and man, just looking at the old neighborhood, man, just unfortunately, man, it just went down like substantially, man. Right here where I almost got robbed for my pair of J's right here on Strasburg and Lappin, man. Unreal. This dude named Mook, man. Dude named Demetrius Pope had tried to stick me up for my joints, man. R.I.P. to dude. You know, when you live in that life, man, it get crazy. But yeah, man, this whole part, it used to be a lot of Asian people, man, especially over here. Over here, like, there's a lot of Asian people that stayed in these houses right here. The girl named Suli and the Chain. There's a few people, man. And so right now, we about to skate on up here to Pulaski, man. This is like my old elementary school. And man, there was so many memories right here. So many memories. So I'm probably gonna like park my whip, man, and then get on out and kind of give you like a little rundown on everything. All right. Yeah, back in the red zone, for real. So, yeah, man, this is the elementary school I went to, was Kashmir Pulaski, bro. Sets right here on State Fair in Strasburg. This is like the State Fair in Strasburg entrance, and just coming back here just kind of brings so many memories back. As a kid, growing up over here, and it looked totally different, man. Totally different. So many different, like I said, it was like, I can't make this up. It was a melting pot, man. It's like white people, black people, Chinese people, like Polish people, a lot of like Polish people, man. And it's crazy. I'm just looking at this area, man, and where it once was, man. It's unreal, man. Unreal. And it was so crazy because, like, even back in the day when Devil's Night was like really big, it used to be like quite a few different fires over here. But at the same time, you could definitely go trick or treating out here. It was so many different people, man. So many different like races, and shoot, man. You walk around this neighborhood, it'd be like it was like the equivalent of going to like the suburbs back in the day, because you just had that many different type of people over here. And I'm just over here right now. Oh man, this is crazy. Oh my God. Everything is the same, man. It's been the same. It's crazy because shout out to anybody who went to Pulaski in the 80s, like 86, 90, like all the way up to the 90s or whatever. And oh bruh. So I remember this one teacher, her name was Miss Payjack, bro. She used to have like an all brown she had an all brown Caprice, man, and she used to park that bad boy right across the way, bro. And I guess it was kind of within view of like her classroom, Cause she knew what time it was, man. She knew what time it was, man. It's crazy. And I'm looking at this little spot over here, man. Like I'm looking at the little stone. This little stone. Let me get a closer up on this one. But yeah, man, this thing, it brings back so many memories, man. Let me get a good, yeah, if y'all can see it. This thing brings back so many memories just looking at the how that thing was etched in there. Yeah, man. And Pulaski, yeah, Pulaski, man. This is like my old school. You know, this is where I grew up, man. And you know, it essentially it's called like the red zone because for the simple fact that all the crazy stuff that used to pop off, you know, a few years back, probably in that early 2000s, you know, and even before I left the east side to move over to the west side, you know, they had, you know, when I went over to the west side, there was a lot of gang activity over there. You had like vice lords, gangster disciples, you know, and they didn't necessarily, like, they haven't really made it over here. But by the time when I got back on the west side, I was hearing like, man, you know, you had I want to say you had headbangers over here, and you had what's called insane undertakers, and a few other like sets. You had Bloods, you know, you had folks, you know, you just had vice lords, and I wonder if this actually kind of went to like a vice lord hood. But if you was over here in that area, man, leave a comment below. Yeah, and it's so crazy. This is bringing back so many memories, man. I remember back in the day when I think there's a dude named Ahmad. They had like flagpole duty because they literally used to like run the flag, the American flag up the way. Yeah, and yeah, man. It was something. It was something, man. It's, you know, if you grew up over here in this area of State Fair, Dresden, and if Dresden is kind of ringing the bell, like Eminem's old house was down the way. It literally was like down the way. His old crib was down the way and whatever. And you know, I think just over the years, just by stuff just going downhill in Detroit, it got dilapidated and tore down. So Eminem old crib was down the way. And it was crazy because you know how back in the day when they used to have roll call or whatever, and they say John Smith or Bryant Gregory or whatever. It was crazy because it was one of the members from D12. He actually came up to my job, and it was crazy because I heard his name before. You know, I ain't gonna put my man on blast, but I heard his name before, and it was like such and such, and he was like never there, and I had a chance to like chop it up with him. Like, yo, bro, like, did you ever used to go to Pulaski? And he was like, yeah, man, I used to go to Pulaski, and you know, something happened with his family, so he was back and forth between, you know, out of state and in state, you know, because, you know, I guess, you know, that's just what was going on in his life. And it's crazy because you know, I used to hear, you know, on roll call, used to hear that person's name, and you know, it's crazy because back in the day, you can literally, you remember like somebody's first and last name. It's crazy. You remember like people's first and last name. It's insane, but that's just what it is. So I'm going over here on the playground. Oh man, this brings back so many memories. I think that was like near the basketball area, and no, I think this actually went like through the basketball area, I believe, and then they actually had something where the lunchroom like they used to come out through the lunchroom. I think this is like the boiler room or whatever. And I remember like, man, this bad boy, I think this was the teacher's parking lot. And I think over here, like the playground, man, the playground was like all rocks, dirt, and everything. It's crazy. You know, it's crazy. It's like all rocks and dirt, man. People, we out here having like rock fights and shit. Man, you see somebody fighting out here. I remember me and my homeboy, my best friend, we had got into a fight out here over a girl, man. It was crazy. It was insane. Man, I got into like 2 fights out here. And one of them bad boys too. But yeah, man, I'm sorry I had to do my mans like that, man. Shout out to the one kid, man. It was unfortunate. You know, it was just a misunderstanding. And you know, sometimes you get anger gets the best of you, man, and you just kind of, you know, go for what you know. But yeah, man, Pulaski, man, this is my middle school, you know, over here on the east side of Detroit. Yeah, man, so much has changed tremendously. And even just going over here, you know, just beyond this fence over here, just kind of reminiscing on like all the people that used to live in these various different houses. And I remember it was these two twins that stayed across down the way, man. It was Raymond and Raymond. And man, R.I.P. to both of them, man. Surprisingly enough, I met somebody that was, you know, it's a small world, and you know, they had like a condition where they wasn't supposed to live past a certain age. And eventually, you know, as they became older, they eventually both of them passed, man. Like I think it was like the same thing was happening with their mom too. And their mom had passed from it, and they eventually passed away from it. So yeah, man, man, a lot of memories, man, a lot, man, just a lot of feelings. A lot of emotions, a lot of just everything. You know, this was my school, man. I think at the time when I was going there, it was I want to say Doris Landrum was the principal, like early, and then I think Mr. Corbin had took over, and then I think it was a black principal at a certain point in time before I left, man. And man, it just so many different memories, man. So many, dang, this thing it just brings back so many different memories on, you know, just growing up here on the east side. And you know, shout out to all the people that even left the city. You know, I hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all remember the kid. You know. But yeah, man, I actually reached out to like one of my former teachers. Her name was Miss Gacky, and you know, she kind of was talking about, I think somebody was living over here, and I think that bad boy it actually went viral on social media. I think she was actually living like over near the auditorium area or whatever, but yeah, man, it's something to see, man. Dang. And I remember like over there on Van Dyke, it used to be like, as you can see like over, like behind me, as you see like all these empty spaces, it was houses, like houses upon houses. You know, it just, man, you just didn't see as many missing houses over here. And it's crazy. I think about this, man. You know, as you can see, like across the way, man, that all right over here was houses. We just had houses, had like people living in them. You had black, like I said, I can go on and on. And I think about it because, which at one point in time, this was like a really, really like, I keep on saying it, this was like a really diverse like neighborhood, and it was crazy because when I moved on the west side, and I was talking to like a lot of my friends, and they was like, man, like, you know, we was like in close quarters with white people, man. It was like a lot of white people. It was like white people, Polish people. That's crazy. And then I'm over here, man. So this little area kind of brings back a lot of memories too, because this this is trauma. I remember it was a girl, man. Her last name was Pulaski, and man, it was crazy because we used to she was a white girl, she was Polish, and we used to actually come out here and we used to hold hands and whatever. You know, she was feeling your man's. You know, I'm a little handsome, you know what I'm saying? But it was crazy because her parents had pulled up like across the way, right? And then once again, her parents was like, you know, like the following day. So I'm looking, I come out, I'm looking for, you know, shoot, where my boo thing at? You know what I'm saying? And you know, she was gone. You know, I think she was like on the other side, and her parents was like, you know what I'm saying, you can't be like holding hands with black people and whatever. Shit was crazy, bro. I'm like, damn. And that was like probably like the second time I kind of experienced like racism, bro. And that shit was crazy. But you know, your kids don't get taught. Kids don't get majorly, like, kids don't grow up to be prejudiced, man. They taught that shit. So, but it's just the way of the world. It's unfortunate, but yeah, man. But yeah, this is like my old hood, the red zone, and you know, I just wanted to kind of take y'all in my childhood neighborhood, you know, and just kind of talk about it. And yeah, it's crazy, bro. I'm sorry if y'all was like, yo, man, my man was traumatized. But you know, I'm just talking about like what I those feelings and emotions, man. It's so much, man, just coming back over here and just kind of like, you know, just experiencing, just kind of taking it all in, because sometimes when you come back to a particular area that you grew up in, you know, just so many different things just kind of just start like rushing back, you know. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. And if y'all was from the Detroit area, you know, years ago, and y'all moved out, and if y'all went to Pulaski, you know, drop a comment below. You know, I like to hear from y'all, for real. But man, I appreciate y'all tuning in and just kind of going on a tour with your mans. Like, comment, subscribe, man, and I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.